Hi, it's your girl Drift Nasty. Thank you for joining back on the It's Beyond Me podcast. Freddie T is at work today, so I'm on this one solo dolo. I'm gonna do a couple of them for y'all while I'm by myself. One of them I'm gonna be touching up on my experience when I was dabbling with OnlyFans, and I want to do a part two on what we talked about yesterday with the white shaming. As far as the white shaming goes, I mean, I personally don't feel guilty for anything that had happened. I mean, anybody with a brain knows that what happened was wrong. Nobody is saying that it was right. We clearly said that yesterday, but just because I'm white doesn't mean that I'm supposed to feel guilty for it happening, like as if I took some kind of part in it. Because, first of all, I'm not going to feel guilty about anything unless I played a part in it. That's just the way that I am. And not only did I not play a part in it, my daddy didn't, my granddaddy didn't, and even my great granddaddy didn't. So, for anybody to come to me and be like, I should be feeling guilty for something that happened beyond my time, I don't. I should not be held accountable for that. And like I said on the last video, it just kind of feels like white people are all racist until proven otherwise. We're guilty until proven innocent. I'm not racist. I'm far from racist. I got plenty of friends of color and that's white. I've never been called racist. Not seriously. I'll tell you this one time there, and this is just how out of touch everybody is with what racism actually is. I was a cashier working at a grocery store out here, and this young girl come in and she says, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" I understand very little Spanish, so that's what I said. No habla español, and she goes, "Oh, no habla español." And then the kid who's with her, who was also a white kid, says, "Oh, that's got to be the most racist thing anybody said to you." That's how out of touch everybody is with racism now. So where they just label any and everything as a racist act. Because I'm white and I said I don't speak Spanish, I must be racist. Because I said it in Spanish. I don't know where he drew the conclusion. I don't know. Y'all tell me if y'all get it. I don't get it. But I feel like everybody's really out of touch with what really racism is. And granted, I don't agree with racism. You might not agree with racism. End of the day, it's nothing more than an opinion. If somebody has an opinion that they don't like brown people, if somebody has an opinion they don't like black people, and if somebody has an opinion that they don't like white people, that's their opinion. Racism is nothing but a belief, an opinion, and you can't tell people that they can or can't have an opinion. Not here in America, right? Ain't that what it's supposed to be, that we're allowed to do as we please? You may not agree with me on a lot of things that I do, say, the way that I live, any of that. But I'm going to still do it because it's my business. So I'm just saying, everybody's worried about the wrong things. There's a lot of things going on in the world, plenty more that we could be focused on, that we need to be worrying about and actually handling, like the fact of how we got the senile person in presidency. Like there's plenty of things that we need to be focusing on, the things that are being shoved down our kids' throats. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to be gay. I don't care what you do in your spare time. What you do behind closed doors is your business. But what I do care about is them teaching that in school and then confusing these babies and then having them come home and then telling people in alarming numbers. Like, you can't deny that there's way more numbers now of kids who are confused about whatever sex or gender or how they're supposed to dress. Just crazy nonsense that kids are not supposed to be dealing with. And it happens in alarming numbers. It's not like, because back in the day, maybe you had a couple of gay kids in your class. Well, I'm talking about when your kids. Maybe. Hell, they didn't even know they were gay at that age. They didn't know what was going on. They're still processing. So, those kind of things I don't agree with. Those are things that we need to be speaking up on, coming arm in arm to overcome. My point is that there's plenty more than racism to be worried about. Yes, there are people who are extremists, who take it to the extreme, who do some messed up things to people. But that's going to happen whether it's racism or not. Men do it to women. Women do it to men. It happens. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it should happen, but you can't deny the fact that it does happen. So don't worry about things that you can't help, things that you can't change. You don't want to bring you don't want more racism coming in the world. Raise your kid not to be racist. That's all you could do. Do what you can do on your behalf with your kids, because you're the one who's supposed to raise your kids and teach them morals, not the schools, not the government. It's you, the parent. You're the one that shoot them out the coop. You're the one that's going to raise it till it's 18, feed it, clothe it. All the financial things are going to come from you. So if you want a better world, then start at home. I guess that's pretty much all I have to say about the racist thing. I just wanted to do a quick part 2 on it to clarify, because I told my husband, I was like, I really didn't even get to finish my thought on it, because that was my thought. I feel like I'm being told as a white woman I should be feeling guilty for things that happen beyond my time, that I played no part in. When I have a child, hopefully we have a child this year coming up. When I have a child, I'll teach my child that treat everybody equal. The only people you should be treating bad is the people that treat you bad. And that's what I'm going to teach them. So I'm doing my part, starting at home. But just know that you're not going to make me feel guilty. And you're not going to make me feel bad or feel like I'm a bad person for saying I don't feel guilty. I personally don't even like the fact that they're taking down the Confederate statues and things like that. I'm from Florida. My kinfolk come from Alabama and Georgia. What did we say yesterday? If you delete the history, you delete the lesson. And then history will repeat itself. Because what do you have to learn from? Just because they took them down, does it make what happened any better? After they took it down, did it make a difference? No, it did. Everybody, you want to know where everybody lost me with this? Do you remember back a few years when Black Lives Matter sat up there on national television and told white families that if you want to make things right with black people, you leave your property and your house to a black family when you pass away. Damn your kids, damn your grandkids. If you're white and you have something to your name, give it to a black family and make it right. We didn't promise us civilians did not promise the 2 acres, 2 acres and a mule, whatever acres and a mule. We didn't promise that. Y'all want reparations from people who didn't even do anything to you. No, I refuse. I refuse to let y'all think that it's okay, and I refuse to feel guilty. And again, I touched on it yesterday with the Karens who get out here and then they want to say, "Oh, well, you're absolutely racist just because you're white. If you're white and you claim you're not racist, then blah blah blah." Y'all got to them. Y'all won with them, but you ain't gonna win with me. Not the ones like me. It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna stay in my own lane. I'm gonna mind my business. You gonna stay in your lane and you gonna mind your business. And then the world will be a happier place. There ain't nothing else that you could do. Ain't nothing else that I could do. So sitting around and letting it just ache and fester in you to where you have anger toward another group of people who ain't did nothing to you, that's a problem. Look at what they saying about Akon right now. Actually, we might just do a whole video on that. I ain't gonna. I'll get back to you. Don't feel lost. We gonna cover it. We're gonna make sure that we speak our part on that too. Because I agree with what Akon said. But we'll touch on it. Anyways, so it's been your girl, Drip Nasty. It was nice to be able to do it by myself. My husband, when he's doing it with me, I try not to, I guess, outdo it or whatever. Try not to, because he's a very conserved man, if you could believe that or not. I try not to outdo him to where he's just kind of like sitting in a corner, because sometimes he's like, "Oh, you don't let me talk," so I don't know. I kind of feel like I can't really like wing it and be myself. Actually, hold on a minute, because he's calling me right now. Hello?
Hey, babe.
Hey.
What's up?
I am doing a video right now. Can I call you right back?
Yes.
Alright, love you.
Love you too.
Bye. But yeah, so he tends to think that, I don't let him talk when we're doing our things, cause and I feel the same way. I don't know, we just bump heads like that. So I try not to outdo it, but I wanted to give y'all a taste of my actual personality. I'm pretty goofy. Like, I mean what I say. Like, I feel passionately about certain things. This topic definitely being one. Because I come up in Polk County, Florida, 863. I don't know if all y'all know where that's at, but it's pretty diverse. Florida in general is diverse. But I grew up in a little town called Mulberry, and I mean, some of the best friends I had coming up were black people, Mexicans too. What can I say? I had some white ones too, but even then, it's kind of like a countryish town, and I mean, you still had your certain white people who would say that I was trying to be black, I was a wigger or whatever you want to call it. I personally don't see it. I do not. Most of the people who actually get to know me have never said that. I asked my own grandmother before she passed away, because a girl that was dating my husband out here before I moved up, they split. Me and him got together, so she was just salty anyway. And then she told him I was just a wigger. So I turned to my grandma while he in the car telling me that story. I said, "Do you think I'm a wigger, Granny?" She said, "No." So I mean, all it is a matter of opinion. Who cares? I guess it's just you have to have at least thick enough skin not to care about what other people got to say about you, how other people feel about you. That should not manipulate your everyday life. You shouldn't wake up and have something eaten at you about how somebody else feels about you, how somebody else treats you, if it ain't somebody that you got to deal with on a daily basis. If it ain't your partner, if it ain't your mama, your sister, somebody, your daddy, somebody that you're seeing all the time when you're waking up, it does not matter. It really doesn't. So I'm just saying, if y'all understand where I'm coming from, just leave me a message, leave a comment on there, and tell me how you feel about the situation, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Racism, about how it's just an opinion, and people are allowed to have their opinions. Hell, I ain't no little girl. I'm a plus size girl, and there's plenty of people out there in the world that fat shame. But guess what? I'm still fat. I'm pretty and I'm fat, and I don't give a damn about what nobody else has to say about it, how anybody feels about me. It's not going to change the way that I live life. It's not going to change the way that I wake up and look at myself. It's not going to change the way my husband looks at me. So what would I care for? But those are my words of wisdom for right now. Thank you again for tuning in, and hopefully y'all be on later, and I'll do another one pertaining to the OnlyFans and my experience with that, because that was a hot mess. Thank you.